back to our YouTube channel. This is Ella, and welcome to another Humanitarian of Africa series. Today, I have the wonderful and beautiful founder of Solumkolia Breast Cancer Foundation, and she's going to be telling us about her amazing story and the story of her foundation. This foundation is based off in Nigeria, where she's been helping women, girls, and everyone that needs to know about breast cancer, creating awareness and also solving the problem of breast cancer in Nigeria. But I'm not going to talk so much about it. I want the host to tell us everything about her foundation. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining me on this session. It's nice having you here with me today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so please tell us about you. I know everyone here, I want to assume they do not know you. I'm the only one here that knows you. So please tell us about you, what you do and everything we need to know.
Okay, my name is Solumkolia Obi, a stage 3 breast cancer survivor, based in the UK, London to be precise. In a nutshell, I work for the NHS as a development manager, service development manager for one of the NHS trusts in the UK. And what else can I say? I'm a jolly good fellow, to be honest. And I love impacting lives, not just as a result of my journey, but it's something that I always say it's a gift from God.
That's really, really a great intro. It's a gift from God to really help people. And in the course of knowing you, I have seen the number of women you have impacted, the number of lives you have changed, and I'm really happy that I actually am connected to you.
Thank you.
Moving on, I'm going to be asking about the foundation. So why Solumkolia Breast Cancer Foundation? Why exactly did you start? What prompted you? What's the story behind the foundation exactly?
Okay, in 2018, May to be precise, 24th of May, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And I went through the journey of survivorship. When I got the news, I decided I would leave. And when I leave, I'm going to make impact, leave a legacy, no matter what it would cost, no matter what it would take. That I'm going to make an impact, I'm going to leave a legacy. So as a result of my journey, after my treatment, so I went through what is called a mastectomy, which is the removal of the breast, total removal of the breast. I had the reconstruction. I had chemotherapy and I had radiotherapy. Wow. So afterwards, after the whole treatment, I was, I used my Instagram page to, talk to people, tell my story and all that. And at some point, I started receiving messages. I've seen a lump on my breast. How do I deal with it? But I always try to make it very clear. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an oncologist. I can only share my experience with you. I can only share my story with you for that person to be able to have hope and know that cancer is not a death sentence. So as a result of all the inquiries I was getting, I decided prayerfully, to be honest, because I never wanted to start up a foundation. I know what it costs to start a foundation. Ella, you're privy to know the stress I went through before we came alive. So I started up the Solumkolia Breast Cancer Foundation as a result of my survivorship.
Wonderful story. And I'm sure that journey was not an easy one at all. And having to channel your survivorship, your passion, everything into helping other people is really, really amazing. It's a rare gift, actually. It's a rare gift. So what exactly at Solumkolia Breast Cancer Foundation do you do? So I know there are a lot of breast cancer foundations, but each organization has its focus. So what's the focus for Solumkolia Breast Cancer Foundation, and what are the impacts that have been made so far?
So Solumkolia Breast Cancer Foundation is solely to make impact. Is solely to educate, to advocate, and to challenge cancer. Yes, I call it to challenge cancer, because you can't stand in a place to challenge something that is troubling you. You have to find various ways to do that. So our main focus is to educate women, especially in the rural area. I stress it so much because we come out to the internet to talk, we go on Instagram, we go on Twitter, we go on Facebook to create awareness. But how many women in the villages
are actually hearing about?
Yes. How many women in the villages are actually hearing about cancer? Not only breast cancer, prostate cancer, cervical cancer, colon cancer, they're different ones, even though our main focus is on breast cancer, but we tend to diversify if need be. So what our main focus is on the rural area, where we need to speak to women, educate the women, educate the younger generation that breast cancer is not a death sentence. So we go into the villages to do this, as well as stay in the city to help women who are already going through the cancer journey by contributing towards their treatment in whatever shape or form that we deem fit that we can support.
That's really great. A lot of people forget the fact that there are people who do not have access to the internet, who are not online, that cannot get access to that education. And unfortunately, these are really the people that need it the most, because they are ignorant, they are uneducated, they do not have access to any of the information that we have access to. So that's actually a very great approach. So support, education, and advocacy, three major points for Solumkolia Breast Cancer Foundation. And I know you've been running for a while now, and you've held a lot of awareness events, a lot of outreaches in secondary schools and all of that. What would you say is the situation of breast cancer in Nigeria at the moment? What exactly is the situation of breast cancer like, and how exactly are you able to contribute to that solution?
Okay, breast cancer in Nigeria is a very heartbreaking situation, especially where people tend to live in denial when they find a lump, for example. They tend to live in denial. I always use this quote: "It is not my portion." To be honest, I don't understand why people would actually be using "it is not my portion." You know, it's a syndrome. And I think it's a slogan for most people, that when they're going through something, they keep saying, "It's not my portion," or "somebody from my village is chasing me." So yes, there are evils out there, but let's not forget that I always illustrate, if there were no sicknesses, God would not have done, there would not have been any power of healing at all. So for there, so for there to be illnesses, it means God had made provision for those illnesses for there to be healing. So again, for our non-viewers who are not Christians, obviously from other religion, I also believe that you also believe in the power of healing.
Yeah.
So what in Nigeria, some of the cases we've come across is we've had cases of women who say, "Oh, it's not my portion, it wasn't my result, it was somebody else's result." And my candid advice always to them is always seek a first, a second, and a third opinion for you to be you know, to be sure it's your result, because once you start to have that mindset that it's not your result, then there is a big problem. You are not actually going to find solution to it. But when you have a positive mindset to go down the route that when you're told you have malaria, obviously you would go, and you would say it's not my portion. It's not because they called it, it's not because they've called it cancer. No, but every sickness should be taken seriously, because there's no sickness that is prone to kill anybody differently. So every sickness should be taken seriously. So with regards, again, another problem that we face in Nigeria is stigmatization. A lot of women do not want to come out to say they've gone through cancer, because they don't want fingers being pointed at them to say, or labeling them, oh, that's the lady. Have you forgotten that lady that said she had cancer? For goodness sake, they can only talk, but they're not the one wearing the shoes you're wearing. You're not the one that wants to, they're not the ones that want to leave. You're the one that wants to leave. So if you intend to leave, then you must have a barricade where you block off every negative information that you receive and focus more on yourself and your life. So in Nigeria, it's a big problem we have. And that's why we keep educating and advocating also for the government to do something towards breast cancer and cancer in general.
That's really, I know that cancer is a very huge topic that a lot of people run away from because of the same, God forbid, it's not my portion, it's not my result kind of ignorance syndrome. What are the sort of challenges you have faced when it comes to trying to help some of these people that you try to help in the rural communities? What challenges have you faced as an organization?
So as an organization, money is always, money, financial support is one of the biggest challenges we face. So when we go, especially when you're going to talk to women in the villages, you have to make it very attractive. Rather than, you know, calling them and saying, okay, you need to check for this, you need to check for that. We also incorporate other health checks like the blood pressure, the blood sugar, cholesterol checks. We also incorporate all this in, you know, the
outreaches,
towards the outreach that we do. That way we get their attention. So when, you know, they always say when you want to kill a rat, you have to behave like a rat to be able to get through to that. So we always incorporate all that, and also always give them a gift to show them love, that, you know, people that go through cancer are not left behind. They are loved. So no matter, regardless of what, you know, you're going through, we show you love. So financially, finance is one of our biggest problems. And we try to devise different means of raising funds to be able to, you know, carry out these outreaches effectively, and also be able to help people who come to us and say, because sometimes people think the foundation, there's money somewhere. I will clearly make it clear here, there is no money anywhere. The government is not sponsoring Solumkolia Breast Cancer Foundation in any shape or form. Whatever monies we get are monies from family, friends, personal money, and also well-wishers, people that think what we're doing is the appropriate channel for them to give in to support us.
I know that funding for the project that a lot of people do as non-profit organizations is a large issue, and also for certain illnesses like cancer, like sickle cell, like so many others, is quite difficult for people to commit, because they find that, or they have this feeling that the person will just end up dying at the end. So it's going to be like a waste of funding and a waste of support, which is is unfortunate, but not everyone dies as a result of cancer and all of that. Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, people, let me put a point in.
Yeah.
When you hear people have died in Nigeria, factors that trigger it. Number one, late diagnosis. Ignoring the signs when you see the signs. Late treatment. So most women I've spoken to that unfortunately we've lost quite a few of them. I will give a typical example of the last lady. She was my volunteer, and she was doing very well. And during the course of last year, towards the end of last year, her hand started to swell. And she went to the doctor, misdiagnosis, and she was told it was lymphedema, so swelling of the arm, and was advised to get, what is it called? To get the sling. So she's able, because the hand became very heavy for her to carry, and she was advised to get the sling so she's able to hold it and support herself. And because we had an event in December, she mentioned it to me. And again, don't get me wrong, once you've gone through cancer, once you have any little thing, your mind flashes back to it. We're all human beings. Not that we're saying it's there or it's not there, but the first thing you would think about is has it come back or has it not? So you have to take it very serious. So I did ask her, have you gone to see your doctor? She said, oh yes, she's on strong painkillers. She was on morphine. She was on codeine. They had strong painkillers that were given to her.
Without knowing that it was something else that was wrong with her.
Absolutely. And she was going through pain. At a time, I had to raise money because she was told to start physio. And the physio was costing her 20,000 naira a day. And they did say to her she would be on the physio for them to see if it's going to go away. And I had to raise money for this lady to go through physiotherapy. But during the course of going through the physiotherapy, I did say to her, have you done, proper check? You need to do it. She said, oh, the doctor said from the symptoms, but I said, no. When you've gone through cancer, you don't act on symptoms anymore. You have to go for the practical aspect of it. You must go for a scan, you must go for tests, you must go for everything that needs to be done. And guess what? She went for a scan and they found out the cancer had reoccurred back. And this time it was too late. It's gone on.
Oh my God.
It has spread all over. And she started an aggressive kind of chemotherapy just to suppress it and all that. But unfortunately, she passed away. Yeah. So it's the late diagnosis that for me, it's mind-blowing. And also, when you go to one doctor and you're not satisfied, please find another doctor. There's so many hospitals out there. Yes, most people, again, funding. When they go and see a doctor and the doctor says to them, oh, there's a lump, you need to do this X, Y, Z, and they call the money, they run away. For example, simple PET scan cost $500,000 in Nigeria.
God.
Where is somebody who is a student, for example,
supposed to get $500,000 to run
just a test? Where are they going to get that money? And this is why they run to foundations, thinking foundations have kept that money somewhere. I don't know about any other. I'll speak for my foundation. We have not kept the money anywhere. When you come to us, what we can do is mostly support you where we can. So, and that's about it. It's heartbreaking to see that we're losing lives in Nigeria, whereas in countries like the UK, the US, Germany, people don't just die just like that. Something, it would take time. You find out some people that have lived 10 years, 20 years, still going. But in Nigeria, it's always money issue, late diagnosis, wrong treatment, and boom, the person is gone.
It's a really, really bad situation. The health sector needs a whole total overhaul and revamp because of not just cancer, but for everything. There are a lot of stories you hear where people are misdiagnosed, and then it leads to them treating something, just like the story you just explained, and it's really heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. Something just occurred to me now, and I realized that there must have been a devastating, heartbreaking case or scenario that you have experienced in the course of running the organization, like a story or a case that you came across and you're like, my God, I cannot go on. Has there been any experience like that and you feel like, I'm not doing this again, this isn't for me?
Yes. So I always say to people that I'm also drained, because the fact that I have a foundation or I run a foundation doesn't mean that I'm a superwoman.
Definitely.
There are days that I did dive, you know, and there are scenarios. There's a particular scenario that a lady reached out to me on Instagram, and she was aggressive about how she was asking for help. And when I only got to, on Instagram, there was a scenario where she was tagged as fraud because she came out to beg for, you know, funding for her treatment. And a fellow survivor tagged her as a scammer. So I read it and I felt, oh no, this shouldn't be. Even if there's something such like that, take it out of social media. Yeah, because you don't want to damage, you know, the integrity or the personality of that person, because already the person is going through a lot. And I stepped in. I reached somebody contacted me on behalf of that lady, and I contacted her via Instagram, and we got talking, and she was very aggressive. When I mean aggressive with her, with the way she was coming across. Oh, you have to help me. You have to help me. If you don't help me, so what is your foundation doing? And I was like, I said, to be honest, at the time I got angry because I had to speak to her on the phone. And when I spoke to her, I asked her, what's the problem? So what have you done? I said, we don't have the money. What I can do is I always use my WhatsApp status to raise funds, which is one of the quickest way for me to raise funds, because I speak to friends, I speak to family, no matter how little the money is. And I did say to her that I would try my best to see what we can do. That doesn't mean I've said to you, I'm giving you money.
Definitely.
And I think the next day she called me, so how much have you raised? So I did say, to be honest, I said to her, at that time, I lashed out to her and I said, have you given me anything to keep for you that you're hounding me that how much have I raised? You can only be asking me that question if you've given me anything to keep for you. I'm just here to help you.
Yeah.
I'm just here to ask to solicit
support you and on your behalf.
Yeah, and she was very rude. And that was the last unfortunately, I spoke to her and I tried to help, and she went to another foundation, but unfortunately she passed away.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she passed away. But when I heard her case, I'm not a doctor, when I heard her case, I said to the person, it will only take the grace of God for this person to leave. And for me personally, all I've said is people shouldn't be afraid to die. But, what you should be afraid of is what legacy are you leaving behind? What impact have you made in people's lives? Where am I going after I am gone? These are things that should be more important to people than being afraid to die. So because when you're afraid to die, you're dealing with something different now. You're not dealing with the problem that is confronting you.
This is like, you're dropping some really, really inspirational stuff right now. And I'm inspired by just listening to you. I would like us to do, or like you to do, like a little breast cancer awareness for the young ladies that are going to be listening right now, and for every woman that's going to be listening right now. Personally, I also have kind of like a personal experience with breast cancer, because cancer kind of has taken a few loved ones, uncles and aunties, not just breast cancer, but different kinds. So I know firsthand what it means to deal with it, treat it, and all of that. And I wouldn't imagine anyone going through that. So please, can you educate us about breast cancer? What are the things we should look out for? Some girls are ashamed and afraid to even want to check out their breasts on their own. So just a little awareness for people listening right now.
So for women, for ladies who, you know, who feel they don't want to know. There are people that don't want to know, but I would advise it's better you know and deal with it quickly. So you need to look out for things like lumps, lumps in the breast area, your neck area, your collarbone, or armpits. It can be anywhere. Really? It's not just necessarily you're looking for lump on your breast.
The breast.
When you're, I'll just do a bit of a demo. I just hope you guys can see me. Sure. So when you're checking for lumps, yes, you just have to, you know, press very well.
Okay.
And go right round all through your breast area and press deeply just to make sure, because sometimes they are hidden. So when you press and press and press, then you take up your hand, and you go quite deep,
area.
Yeah, the armpit area, and also extend it to your collarbone and check everywhere that is, you know, everywhere that is associated with your breast, because the breast has a very large, you know, body cell.
Okay.
And it also goes towards your armpit. And that's why you find out that when somebody has breast cancer, after checking for the lumps, they check the lymph nodes to make sure the lymph nodes are not affected. So if the lymph nodes are affected, that's when the cancer starts to travel. So it leaves, you know, it starts to, you know, go right round. So you check for lumps, check for any discharge from your nipple that shouldn't actually be coming out. And this check should be done after you've gone through your period, after your menstrual cycle. 7 days after that, your body should return back to normal. Then you now start to check. Then you check for inverted. If you've got nipple that is out and it starts to inverting, then there's a problem. You need to speak to your doctor. It might not necessarily be cancer. It might not necessarily be anything, but you're looking out for those
symptoms and signs.
Yeah, those signs, you know. Then under the armpit, you start to have rashes, balls that, you know, you're not
there before.
Yes, and they start to bring out pus. You must seek your doctor's advice. I had somebody who sent me a picture yesterday. There's a lady, she's got a massive boil just on the nipple. It looks like, you know, like a balloon. So I did say, she was asking me, what should she do? I said, you need to go and see your doctor ASAP. It might not be anything, but you must go and see your doctor ASAP. Let them be the ones to say to you, there's nothing. Let them be the ones to advise you. So you must look out for all these signs. And, you know, for women, try as much as possible to get your mammogram done. If you've hit 40 and above, try as much as possible to get your mammogram done at least once a year, just to have peace of mind. And if you're under 40, you could go for a breast scan. you go for a breast scan and they just check and let you know that there's nothing there. Now, the rate this cancer is ravaging people, nobody knows. People will say it's the food we eat, it's the lifestyle we live, it's hereditary. Now, cancer is no longer hereditary because in my family, there's no trace of cancer. In my lineage, there's no trace of cancer. So where has it come from? So how is it hereditary? So they will only call it hereditary because I've gone through it. If anybody from after me goes, yes, they will now say it's hereditary. So these are words that are being used. So we need to be mindful and be, very vigilant with changes in our body. I'm very conscious of any little change that, even if it's a headache, I ask myself, is this headache normal? Has it been induced as a result of stress? Is there something? Do I need to rest? Do I need to, go back? And you have to be very proactive with your life. If not, you can only see the outer part of your body. You don't know what's going on inside. So whatever that is happening inside is being triggered in your brain, and you need to follow and be very proactive.
This was really short, but very, very educative. I didn't even know we would have to check up to the collarbone. I just thought it was just the breast area alone. Even like this was really educative. Guys, if you're listening, please drop a comment, drop some hearts. Make sure you go over to Solumkolia Breast Cancer Foundation and show them some love as usual. And I trust you guys that you're going to be helping to support and all of that. So before I let you go, Ma, what project or program would you like to invite our viewers to support you, or to donate, or to just come around to show their love for your foundation?
So at the moment, we have a GoFundMe link.
Okay.
Where we're trying to raise money to be able to support these women out there who are going through treatment, because there are a lot of women who are going through cancer and their treatments are stalled. So they start, for example, they start chemo
and they can't.
They can't continue because they don't have the complete fund. And delay, it's not good. So when we meet somebody who we feel we can help, we always say to them, make sure the money is complete before you embark on the journey. Don't just start and thinking, okay, you're going to get the money from somewhere. And maybe in the middle of your treatment, you don't have the complete money. It means they're going to stop your treatment. And when you go back again, the tendency is that they will ask you to repeat all the tests you have done to find out if the cancer has, shrunk or gone to other parts of the body. So that is very important. So we have a GoFundMe. I'll send the link across to you.
Definitely.
Then we have a program coming up on the 23rd of July.
Okay.
On the 23rd of July in Lagos.
Okay.
In Lagos, where we will be raising fund for to also assist cancer patients in their journey. So I'm just trying to get the flyer. So it's because we launched out an initiative last year, December, which we called Wheels for Life.
Yeah, I remember.
So on the 23rd of July, we will be at the Purple Maryland Mall.
Okay.
In Ikorodu Road in Lagos. And we've called it Fighting Cancer Together. So we will be there and we will be educating people, customers coming into the mall. We'll be educating them. We'll be handing out flyers to them. And we'll also be selling a few things to raise money. To raise money, but they will all be at a subsidized rate. So luckily and thankfully, Purple Mall have given us their space.
Wonderful.
As part of their support to Solumkolia Breast Cancer Foundation. So they've given us a great space where we can stay and do this event.
Okay.
And then on the 24th, which is 24th of July, which is the Sunday, we will be having what we've called Kiss Initiative Fun Time as we keep it sleek and survive. So this would just be to host women who are on our list. So we'll be hosting 30 women who are on our list that we support in one way or the other. It mustn't be financially. We support women by counseling them. We support women. We also support the caregivers who support these patients. So so we'll be having an intimate, time with these women on the 24th of July, and this will be happening at the Lekki Conservation Center. So we wanted it to be more of a nature kind of thing, so that they're not enclosed in their rooms, in their homes. So that's why we decided to pick this venue. So we're going to the nature, it's a nature park where we will see it, have conversation. We also have an oncologist who will be coming to speak to them. We have an oncologist who will come and speak to the women, educate us more. Even those of us on remission, we still need educating on what we're doing wrong and how we can do better. So we would have an oncologist who will be there to speak to the women. And also we would also have the president of the Nigerian Cancer Society, Dr. Umar, who will be in attendance as well for both days. So we're really looking forward to this day. But again, what we're soliciting for is funds. Definitely, I can't do this on my own. I can only solicit for funds. So one of the biggest challenges we're having for women in Nigeria is those that have gone through mastectomy cannot find, when people go through mastectomy in Nigeria, the very least is that they don't do a reconstruction, so they go flat. Sometimes, some of them don't really mind, especially if you've done both double mastectomy. They just go flat. They are not interested. But when you've done mastectomy on one breast, obviously there's no way you're going to go flat. So the biggest problem and the biggest challenge they are having is to find breast foams. So and they are quite expensive. The prostheses are very expensive. For a single prosthesis, you would be looking at 95,000 naira.
My God.
And that is over 100 and something pounds from my calculation. So it's quite a lot. So luckily, Marks and Spencer does a beautiful breast foam. And what we've done is we've been soliciting for help to be able to get these breast foams for these women who are back home, to be able to use it. One of them showed me, and you wouldn't know that they've done anything. So far, we are looking for 100 breast foams.
Wow.
And we've been able to clinch 25. So we still have a long way to go. So, and each of these breast foam costs 10 pounds. I always say is a cost of a cup of coffee and a croissant. You can forgo that to put a smile on somebody's face.
That is really amazing. So guys, if you're watching this, please, the links, the flyers, everything, the GoFundMe link is going to be going through your screen. It's also going to be in the description box. I'm going to drop the website details, the contact details, and also every information that you need to be able to support and put a smile on the faces of women living with breast cancer in Nigeria. We cannot do it without you, and we need everyone to work hand in hand to chase cancer out of our country. Thank you so much for this amazing session with Yuma. I really enjoyed the time here and I learned so much, and I'm sure that everyone who has listened to this session would definitely learn so much. It was nice having you here with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.